Welcome back to the forgotten format. We're going to pay attention to ODI cricket again. Well, at least for the next 2 months we are, because there's a Champions Trophy coming. Of course, after that there'll be the IPL and the rest of the calendar will take over and we'll forget 50 overs cricket again. But for the time being, it's time to shift our attention back to that format which has seen India play only 3 matches in 2024, which has seen them play a total of 6 matches post 19th of November 2023. So what is the Indian ODI universe really like? This video serves as a reminder, and possibly along the way it also answers some questions about India's next ODI squad. Do you remember how much of a beast Shubman Gill was in 2023? No one in the world scored more runs, and only Virat Kohli scored more tons, that too just by 1, in men's ODIs in 2023, and Gill scored his near 1600 runs that year at an average above 63. So can that spot really be in question? Yes, it's tempting to ask, what about Yashasvi Jaiswal? He's been so good in Test cricket, he's got the eye in T20 cricket, why isn't he playing ODI cricket? Well, opening slot 1 is taken by India's captain, and if opening slot 2 has these credentials in Shubman Gill, can it really be questioned? Next, do you remember how good KL Rahul was at number 5? Of course you don't, because it doesn't feed into social media narratives to remember what KL Rahul does well. Here's a reminder. Since he became India's permanent number 5 in men's ODIs in January 2020, KL Rahul is averaging nearly 60 while striking at nearly 100 in the format. In this time period, among all the batters to have been at number 5 more than 10 times, only Azmatullah Omarzai has a better average, and there are only 5 batters world over who have a better strike rate. What's more, even if you look at the history of ODI cricket, among those who batted at least 30 times at number 5, only AB de Villiers has a better average than KL Rahul's. That spot is quite secure, at least for the near future. Tied very close to KL Rahul, both in terms of batting position in the ODI setup as well as fortune and perceptions, is Shreyas Iyer. Now here's a man who, since 2022, has an ODI batting average of 50, who at the 2023 ODI World Cup was only behind Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma when it came to runs made for India, and he made those 530 runs at a strike rate above 113 with 2 centuries and 3 half centuries. Of course, Shreyas Iyer had a bit of a falling out after that, was out of a contract, but he's come back, and in the latest Vijay Hazare Trophy, he's batted 5 times, got out only once and scored 325 runs. So form is not an issue, his credentials of late are also not an issue, and when you put these last 2 points together, India's number 4 and number 5, at least first choice, are quite settled. What's your last memory of India's bowling in ODIs? Of course you remember Jasprit Bumrah, you can never forget him. Of course you remember Shami and that World Cup that he had. And you remember Kuldeep Yadav for being India's best spinner in the format of late. The name we're forgetting is Mohammad Siraj, who has 71 wickets in this format since the start of 2022. That's the 3rd highest in the format in the world. And this is despite the fact that India have not played any ODI cricket as such over the last year and a half. Siraj also has got those wickets at an average below 23. And among bowlers from full member nations, there are only 2 who have a better average, Wanindu Hasaranga and Shaheen Shah Afridi. At the moment, of course, there's no question at all, because you also have fitness concerns surrounding Bumrah and Shami and whether or not they'll make it. But even if those concerns didn't exist, Mohammad Siraj in the ODI setup, quite a lock-in. So we've had a refresher on India's personnel in ODI cricket. But how well do you remember India's change in plans in white ball cricket? This is not to be confused with the ODI World Cup, because you could argue it is the 19th of November 2023, which taught India an important lesson in terms of the depth of their white ball sides, and you saw an immediate change in approach when it came to the outlook around India's 11s in T20s, in the limited ODIs that they played last year. Increased depth. You want more batters who can bowl, you want more bowlers who can bat. You have one all-rounder position locked in a Hardik Pandya who's fit and firing. There's a call to be taken on Ravindra Jadeja and whether he still makes the ODI plans or not, but you have a whole bunch of players who you will have a keen eye on. The likes of Riyan Parag, Washington Sundar, Nitish Kumar Reddy, who've shown they can contribute with both bat and ball. Expect at least one, if not more of them, to feature in India's setup, because that is perhaps the most important question India are looking to answer in the England ODIs as they approach the Champions Trophy.